Hello and welcome back fellow coders. This is CodeMaster Quest and we've got another exciting coding challenge lined up for you today. It's going to be a fun ride, so let's dive right in and see how it works. Now let's figure out the problem statement here. You are given a string s and an integer k, and you can choose any character of the string and change it to any other uppercase English character. And you can perform this operation at most k times. At the end, we should return the length of the longest substring containing the same letter you can get after performing the above operation, right? So let's figure out how this operation work in example number 1. If we get an input like AB, and k equal to 2, we should return 4 because we can change, let's say 2 A letters to B and generate 4B, which is the longest substring containing the same letter. Right. But for example number 2, if we got this input AA, BA, BBA, and k equal to 1, we can change this, the first B letter and create 4 A letter in a sequence. Right. So we should return 4. And you can always find the question constraint at the end of the page. So now let's come back to the Visual Studio Code and try to solve this problem. Now let's define the function signature and try to solve this problem. So let's say func character replacement 2 parameter s and k, and then return type which is integer. Since you want to traverse over the characters of this input string, let's make an array from this string. So let's say array equal to array from s, right? And we need to have the number of characters in this input. And for this purpose, we need to define a dictionary. So let's say, let's say var char count equal to a dictionary from characters to integers, and it's empty by default. And to find out the maximum length, let's define a variable for it. So let's say var max length is 0 by default, and at the end of this function we want to return this value. So let's write down the return statement at this phase as well. So let's say return max length, right? To solve this problem, I want to use window sliding method, and for this method we need to have the starting point and end point of this window. So let's say we need one variable for the window starting point. So let's say var window start is 0 by default, and then let's make a for loop and say for window end in 0 to array.count. Right. In each iteration of this for loop, we are going to face with a new characters, and we need to increase the number of this character in the dictionary. So let's say char count for array, not this one actually, square bracket, array window end should be increased by 1, and the default value for this dictionary is going to be 0 as well. Default is 0. Right. Now for this window start and window end, we need to find out whether we can change some characters at most k times, right, and create a word that contain only one character. For this purpose, let me say while the length of a window, which is window end minus window start plus 1 minus char count values max, which is 0 by default, is greater than k. This means that we cannot change at most k character and create an output with the same characters, right? So we should move our window starting pointer. So let's say we want to decrease the character of window start in the dictionary by 1. So let's say char count for array window start, exclamation mark here because it's optional, should be decreased by 1, and window start should be increased by 1, right? So plus equal to 1. And at the end of this while loop, we should say max length is going to be max between the current value and the length of the window. So let's say window end minus window start plus 1, right? And this should be the solution for this problem, but to make sure everything is working, let's come to browser, copy this example, change back to the Visual Studio Code and try to run our function with this input. So let's say print character replacement AB, and K is 2. And we should get 4 as the output, right? So let's say Swift, problem.swift, it's 4. As the last job, let's submit our solution to LeetCode. Change the browser one more time and paste it here, cleaner, and then hit the submit button. Perfect. Here's the solution for this question. Thank you, everyone.